Here's a political scandal that's making history for all the wrong reasons. South Korea just witnessed something unprecedented. Both a former president and his wife behind bars at the same time. Keon Hee, the spouse of ousted President Yoon Suk Yeol, found herself in handcuffs Tuesday night as authorities moved forward with corruption charges that read like a political thriller. The Seoul Central District Court approved her arrest warrant after prosecutors argued she might tamper with evidence, a decision that sends shockwaves through South Korea's already turbulent political landscape. But here's where it gets controversial. Some political analysts are questioning whether this entire mess could have been avoided if Yoon had handled his wife's scandals differently from the start. The charges against Kim aren't your run-of-the-mill political corruption allegations. We're talking about a multifaceted investigation that includes bribery schemes, stock market manipulation, and what prosecutors call inappropriate interference in candidate selection processes. For those unfamiliar with South Korean politics, this represents a perfect storm of the types of scandals that have historically brought down presidencies in this country. Kim's arrest comes as part of an extensive three-pronged investigation targeting Yoon's entire presidency under the new liberal administration. What makes this situation particularly explosive is the timing. Investigators are probing whether Yoon's shocking martial law declaration in December was at least partially motivated by mounting pressure over his wife's legal troubles. Let's break down what actually happened that December night. Because this is the part most people miss. Yoon's power grab wasn't just poorly planned. It was desperately executed. On December 3rd, amid what appeared to be routine political gridlock with liberal lawmakers, Yoon suddenly declared martial law, describing his opponents as anti-state forces. The declaration lasted mere hours before lawmakers fought through military blockades to revoke it. But the damage was done. Now here's where the story gets even more intriguing. Kim maintained complete silence as she arrived at the Seoul courthouse Tuesday, refusing to engage with the media circus surrounding her case. Her only public statement came during last week's 7-hour interrogation session, where she offered what many are calling a carefully crafted non-apology, describing herself as someone insignificant, while hinting she would fight the charges. The specific allegations paint a picture of systematic influence peddling that allegedly reached the highest levels of government. Prosecutors claim Kim and Yoon pressured the conservative People Power Party to nominate specific candidates in 2022 legislative elections, allegedly working with election broker Keon, who faces his own charges for conducting manipulated opinion polls that may have helped Yoon secure his presidential nomination. But wait, there's more. Kim faces separate corruption allegations that sound almost too outrageous to be true. Investigators claim she accepted luxury gifts through a fortune teller who served as an intermediary for a Unification Church official seeking business favors. She's also allegedly connected to a stock manipulation scheme involving a local BMW dealership. And this is the part that has everyone talking. The $43,000 necklace controversy. Prosecutors believe Kim wore an expensive piece of jewelry during a 2022 European trip with Yoon, allegedly provided by a construction company chairman whose son-in-law mysteriously landed a chief of staff position with the prime minister just before that same trip. Kim's defense? She claims the necklace was a borrowed fake. The investigation has already netted other players in this alleged network. On Tuesday, authorities arrested one of Kim's close associates upon his return from Vietnam, suspecting he leveraged his connection to the former First Lady to secure millions in business investments for his struggling company. What makes this situation historically significant is that Yoon and Kim represent the first former presidential couple in South Korean history to face simultaneous imprisonment on criminal charges. This milestone speaks to both the severity of the allegations and the country's evolving approach to presidential accountability. During his presidency, Yoon consistently dismissed calls to investigate his wife as politically motivated attacks, using his veto power to block multiple legislative attempts at independent probes. This strategy backfired spectacularly when the new liberal president Lee Jae-myung took office and immediately approved comprehensive special investigations into not just the martial law incident and Kim's alleged crimes, but also a controversial marine drowning case that liberals claim Yoon's administration tried to cover up. Currently, Kim remains detained at a southern Seoul facility, separate from where Yoon is being held. She faces up to 20 additional days of detention before formal charges must be filed, with her next interrogation scheduled for Thursday. Yoon himself, who was released briefly in March, only to be rearrested last month, continues to face his own high-stakes trial on rebellion charges related to the martial law declaration. Notably, he has repeatedly refused to cooperate with investigators' questions about his wife's activities. This entire saga raises uncomfortable questions about power, privilege, and accountability in South Korean politics. The country has a notorious history of presidencies ending badly, but the Yoon Kim case represents a new low in terms of simultaneous criminal exposure. Here's the million-dollar question that's dividing public opinion. Was Yoon's martial law gambit a calculated distraction from his wife's mounting legal problems? Or was it the desperate act of a cornered politician who ran out of options? The answer could reshape how we understand this unprecedented chapter in South Korean political history. What do you think? Should presidential spouses be held to the same legal standards as their partners? Or does Kim's case represent political overreach by the new administration? The debate is far from over, and the implications extend well beyond a single couple's fate.